On, dude. Pleasure having you on.
Thank you.
And just coming out here to take a time. I know we were mentioned before, man. I was curious, like, what made you come in a suit today? Professional today, or working, or
Working, yeah, working, yeah, about everything. But it's more that
because when I first saw you in the suit, I was asking you, like, dude, how the hell do you come in here with like that heat? But I'm assuming you mentioned before you just came in a car.
I'll take a cab. Yeah, I can't take the bike when it's so sunny outside. I get sunburned.
Oh,
I'm
really?
white North European.
Okay. Okay, nice. Yeah, man, Stefan, I just want to say, dude, appreciate you coming on. I was just, if you could just introduce yourself, how long you've been here, where you're originally from,
Okay.
things like that.
Yeah, as I said, I'm from Norway. I've been here for 15 months now.
Okay.
So I'm still fresh to Vietnam. And we came straight from Norway as well. So we haven't lived in China like many people have done.
Okay.
But yeah, so love Asia.
Oh, yeah. And when you said we, who else did you come here with?
My wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there anybody else, like dogs, cats? Because I know sometimes expats come here with like pets too.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, it's just my wife.
Okay.
And she's also Norwegian as well.
Okay.
So it was a cultural change, to say the least.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, a lot of times the expats who come here, I think you're the first person I've heard who came here with their wife. Because usually they come here as like a single guy, or they already have like a partner here.
Yeah.
And then eventually they want to, stay here a little longer.
Yeah.
So I want you to kind of bring it back to, okay, you're in Norway. You grew up in Norway.
Yeah.
But now you ended up here in Vietnam.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what was that transition like? At first, I actually don't even know what Norway is like. So, do you kind of describe?
Yeah, right
type of
now it's
scenery?
snowy, cold, and dark.
Okay. Exact opposite of sunny.
Yeah,
Vietnam,
exact opposite of sunny Vietnam.
Right? Okay.
Me and my wife, we're both adventurous, and it was about, to put it in just like easy words, it was about getting out of the hamster wheel back in Europe. I think many Americans will recognize themselves in that as well. And we wanted to do something completely different, and not that 9-to-5 job, and just try doing something completely different and experience having an adventure. We can always go back, So for us, it was just, let's get out there and see if we can make stuff happen in another part of the world.
Huh. Is that not something you feel like you could have done in Norway, or was it just
No? It's Europe is, especially Norway, it's very hard if you want to be an entrepreneur to start something. It's very hard to succeed because you have high taxes. It's very rule and law restricted. It's just basically it's very difficult to start something in Norway and actually be successful. So I wanted to start a company, and that's what I've done here, is to start my own company, which is a Vietnamese entity, and then take it from there, because Vietnam is one of the low-risk countries when you think in financial terms, when you think of Asia as well.
Do you mean like cost of living?
Yes, cost of living, taxes, and at the same time, there's a lot of opportunity here as well, compared to, for example, Europe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what made like Vietnam stand out in terms of the rest of Asia when you were thinking about? Because I'm pretty sure there's so many places other people go, like Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, all those areas.
So mainly there's two things, as you put it. The first one is cost of living, and the second one is there's so much things happening in Vietnam right now. You have the big companies coming from the US to set up factories, also from Europe. There's a lot of things happening in every sector, everything from hospitality to like technology, AI, all these things, and it's converging on Vietnam. And me and my wife also wanted to be a part of that.
Okay.
Part of that adventure, part of that build-up, just like it was in China 30 years ago when everyone went there to start something for themselves or to join what was already happening.
Yeah, I mentioned I've talked to different expats. They were talking very similar in terms of like Vietnam is like coming up as when it was back then. As you mentioned,
Yeah.
like China's is growing up,
Yeah.
going higher. And I was curious. So, is you leaving Norway to come out here to Southeast Asia, start something new?
Yeah.
Is that like a normal, typical mindset of people like from Norway, or is that something branched off from the pack?
I'm going to try to be not too negative, but the thing is, Norway, as one of the richest countries in the world, we also have the social security, right? We have everything. You can go to the hospital for free, the free schools, everything. It's what I would call the golden cage, right? It's great. It's great living there if you want safety. Living within that cage is great. But if you are sort of a risk taker, if you like a risk, if you like adventure, if you like to start something for yourself, Norway, it's just very hard to do anything like that now. I would recommend anyone that wants to set up shop for themselves or to do something completely different, they have to get out of Norway if they want to do that.
Yeah, that I don't know if it's very similar, but the way you're describing it kind of reminds me of like people from Silicon Valley in the States. They have the same similar concept, like golden handcuffs. When they have like these high-paying jobs, but they're
For
stuck
sure.
doing that.
Yeah.
That's their way of life.
And it's interesting because there's a lot of Norwegians that are entrepreneurs that have like a big brain, they have a good idea. They move to Silicon Valley. So you have a convergence of Norwegians in Silicon Valley for those reasons, because it's so much easier to get funding, to be a part of something bigger, to actually be successful and have the support both from the government and the people around you in the US compared to Norway, of course. But you see the same in Asia as well. There's more and more people coming here from all over the world, from the Western world, right?
Yeah, sure.
Trying to do something new or joining a company here, or
or even building one, starting out here.
Yeah.
I'm actually wondering. So you mentioned Norway, apparently the richest country. I actually never knew that. So right, what would you say would be your cost of living in Norway?
Oh, it's high. Yeah.
It was okay. What was like your monthly?
Good question. I can't remember anymore, but
Was this like a?
and in dollars,
Yeah.
it's a lot. I can tell you. I don't remember the numbers,
Okay,
but
I'll
it's,
just throw a number. Is it higher than 4,000?
yes, yes.
You give it-
If you have a loan, like you have an apartment or a house, like it's super expensive. I lived in Oslo, which is the capital.
Okay.
Super expensive. Everything's expensive. Like going to the restaurant is expensive. Taxes are high. Getting an apartment is expensive. Everything is
Did
expensive.
the quality match the pricing from your experience? Like, okay, yeah, you know what? It makes sense. I just paid $3,000 for.
Yeah, it's a
this place.
sensitive topic.
Okay.
Norwegians would say. I
Oh,
think,
really?
because I think no.
Okay.
I would like to compare us to Japan or Singapore. We could have had the best infrastructure, the best hospitals in the world, but it's not. So we're lagging behind on many things. But of course, the good thing is that everyone has access to healthcare, to school,
Yeah.
to education. I mean, yeah. So you are taken care of in that sense. But for me, that is like the bare minimum. There should be more support for innovation, for technology, for entrepreneurs in every sector. Norway's lagging behind on that part.
Yeah, and I would even take that a step further. Like, if you are, one of the top wealthiest countries, and let's say you're an individual who's making a lot of money in terms of salary, but you're taking home a certain amount and then using it just to live bare minimum, or just basic, like basic apartment, basic health, basic restaurant. It's like all that, but you're like making a lot of money. It just doesn't make sense, There's, I say that just because I was recently having this conversation with a guy who has buddies in Silicon Valley. They're making high six figures, but they're barely just scraping by because of the taxes, because of the cost of living in Silicon Valley.
Oh, really?
And,
I didn't know.
And having all that combination, yes, there's bonuses, but having that combination is just, you're expecting like, I should be living way higher than this. I should be living like nice lifestyle, but it's not
It's not
adding up.
No, it's not like that anymore. And just to be fair to the system as well, is that I support taxes, and I think most people do, especially Norwegians. We support taxes. We see the value of taxation, but there comes a point when the taxes just eats up too much.
Yeah.
So for like salary tax, it can go all the way up to 40-45%, right? If you earn a lot. And you get taxed on everything. You get taxed on. So let's say you're starting a company. We're supposed to talk about Vietnam now. We're diverting over to Norway. But you're starting a company in Norway. They tax you on unrealized gains as well. So you on paper you might be worth, let's say, $2 million.
Yeah.
But you're not producing it. You have no products yet. It's just that the stakeholders believe in what you're doing, and you will be taxed on that. And it's impossible then to do something. So there was a very good example of a Norwegian that had to move to Switzerland because he started a software company that did very well, and on paper it was worth over 1 billion Norwegian kroner. So like many millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But he was living in a small apartment in Norway with a buddy of his, trying to get by, right? So there was no option for him to scale or to develop this country, this software or this company anymore in Norway because he would go bankrupt.
Oh. Okay.
So he had to move out. That was the only way.
Kind of forced it.
So yes, so they either you fail or you move. It's one of those options, and then the option is of course easy, right? If you want to make something for yourself.
Yeah, that's why I always think about when like coming here to Vietnam. It just makes more logical sense in terms of just lifestyle and even creating something to minimize the risk as much as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious then, your current lifestyle right now, your monthly cost right now in Vietnam. Yeah, do you have like if it's not too sensitive, what are you currently spending right now just in Vietnam?
Well, for the apartment, we have a 2-bedroom apartment in Tao Dien, of course, which is the expat area, and it's more expensive than many other areas in Vietnam. So we're paying $800 on, I don't know, 70 to 80 square meters. Pretty happy with that. Much better than Norway compared to pricing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it better? So what would it cost?
Much cheaper,
What would it cost for something similar in Norway?
Well, let's say it's also a big city. It's just one big city in Norway, it's Oslo.
Yeah.
That would be maybe between 15 and 25 somewhere, depending on where you are.
So 2.5x price. Now, quality-wise, is it similar or is
the one we have is up there? Yeah, I would say. Yeah, it's not that bad actually. Yeah. So the quality, it gets better and better. So I can see like the new buildings here are. Some of them are good standards. Yeah.
Okay. So you're paying half the price here, but the quality is similar to what it'd be back.
Yeah, or just below. Well, I'm not complaining. It's
okay.
Yeah.
So, because I've been having this thought as well, because it's very similar back in the States. So you're paying very similar. If you want a 2-bedroom, it's upwards of like 2,000, 2,500.
Yeah.
So almost 2.5, 3x more. But the quality is either similar or it's even crappier. Because they're not really
back in the US,
Yeah, it's back in the US, and the surrounding area, there's homelessness and sometimes like drug use.
Crime.
Exactly, just around. So I've always never understood that's like that concept of like paying for more, but quality is similar. So that's why I've always thought about like even living here compared to other countries.
Yeah.
Do you have any other expenses as well? Like, is it just apartment? Like, what's all the other stuff adding?
So
together?
of course, have a gym membership and all that. The two things that cost the most here for us is the apartment and food, of course. That's the main expenses we have.
Are you eating out every day?
No, trying, I would say 50-50.
50-50, okay.
Yeah, so eating out, but also making food at home as well.
Is it expensive here to eat out constantly, or what's it like? That just
The range is everything here. So you can get like super cheap, and you know this, of course, but like 50 cents for a dinner if you want to. That's actually pretty good. Like the street food here is good, and well, I haven't gotten like real food poisoning in the 50 months I've been here. So, but it's all the way up to like super expensive, fine dining. You can have everything in Vietnam, especially in Ho Chi Minh, I would say.
True. Recently, I just had my first banh mi on the street here.
Yeah.
And when I first came to Vietnam, I was actually pretty like pushed off. I was like, it's street food. I always thought there's gonna be flies. The meat's outside sitting there. So I pushed away for the past like first 6 months.
Yeah.
Then I just was hungry. I was like, all right, screw it. I'm just gonna give it a go. I've been going to that same banh mi shop for the past 3 weeks now, just constantly over, because I didn't know what I was missing, just because I always had this preconceived idea that it's going to be dirty.
100%, and I think a lot of people from the Western world are thinking the same thing.
No.
But the food hygiene in Vietnam is actually pretty good. Like, rarely do I hear of somebody gets food poisoning. Like, you have some big cases, of course, and you have stuff that happens, but in a country with 100 million, that it will happen at some point. It still happens in Norway as well, right? So
yeah, for sure. And now I kind of want to see talk about, like, you've been living here for 15 months, right?
Yeah.
I'm just curious because sometimes people are asking me, and curious, how do you even stay here longer, or how do you even stay here just in general? If you don't mind sharing, like, how do you currently stay in Vietnam? What type of visas options are there for people like that? You could go into that a little bit.
Yeah, so when I started my company here, I did a lot of research on how we can have the work permit and how we can have what is called TRC, the temporary residence card.
Yeah.
And of course, it gets more and more difficult. So before I came, like 5-10 years ago, you could get like a TRC and a VP, a work permit, for setting up a company and just having like a dead entity sitting there. And then you could just renew that. And you probably know that many people also travel to Cambodia or to Thailand and then just come back and have 3 months visa and then go out 3 months, 3 months, 3 months.
Yeah.
But with a work permit and TRC, you can stay for 2 years, depending on, just different, but mainly the 2 year.
Yeah.
And then you have to renew it. That's how the rules are now. And that can also change very fast in Vietnam. The regulations and laws change very fast there. So it's fast paced. But for I started my company here so that I could have a VP and TRC while I was working here. But it was also important for me, for the viewers that might have a wife or somebody else coming with them. You can't. So in Norway, it's very common now not to be married. But that doesn't. But to live together. So you're living together, and all the rules are basically like you're married, but you're not. But that doesn't. It's not the same in Vietnam. It's still old school. You have to be married. You have to have a ring on the finger. You have to have the documents. And then they will also get the TRC.
Okay.
So she has a TRC because I have a TRC and VP through the company.
Oh, so she doesn't have to start her own thing, like her own company?
No, she is traveling with me, and that's why she has a TRC.
Okay. And setting up that company, even going through the whole process of paperwork. I know you mentioned like 4 or 5 years ago it was difficult. Is it now like?
It gets more and more difficult. Vietnam is putting more and more effort getting high value or people with a lot of assets coming to Vietnam, and then they want to push out those that not necessarily are doing anything here, but are using those dead entities to stay here. So the floor has been raised several times, and I think they want to raise it even more. So if you want to start a company here, or like at least the company entity that I have, because there's different types of company you can have. And I have a 100% foreign-owned company because it's just me. It's the level of money or assets you have to put in just gets higher and higher. So we're in the double digits now in US dollars. So you won't get approved if it's under $20,000 that you're putting in the company.
So if you don't mind, if you could share, like, to have this even have the company even run, like, how much capital did you have to put in to get
So
the
I had to
Series C?
put in, well, I'm not going to say the exact number, but
Okay.
I was advised by the company that helped me set up
Yeah.
to at least put in $20,000.
At least 20,000. Okay.
At least 20,000.
And that will get you what, 2 years, right?
Yeah, well, it depends on how many, well, how your book is looking, right? Like,
Okay.
what goes in, what goes
Yeah.
out, what comes in, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, the government will not approve your company if you cannot show $20,000 or more. But I think they're raising that now as well to maybe $50,000.
50,000. Okay.
So it's getting hard to be
Yeah.
an entrepreneur here if you don't have that type of cash backing.
To start it,
At
okay.
least for an own entity. But there's other options as well that one could explore, like join company with a Vietnamese, for example. If you have
Yeah.
Vietnamese family or a Vietnamese girlfriend or anything like that, you can start.
Yeah.
And then the rules are somewhat different. But
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't sit on that information, so I don't know
Yeah.
what those rules are.
Yeah, I've heard so many stories about how, let's say there's an international or expat comes and he has a Vietnamese girlfriend, wife.
Yeah.
They put the name into her to
Yeah.
kind of manage that situation. But then that could cause a whole other set of problems, which,
A lot, yeah. So many people do that because it's super easy for Vietnamese to set up a company.
No.
That is, you do that, takes you 24 hours. For an expat to set up a company,
Yeah.
it takes 6 to 8 months. Yeah,
That's,
yeah, because there's so many. There's the stack of documents you have to be able to procure
that's insane.
is big, and you also have to get all these VPs, like the work permit, the TRC, and everything up running, and you have to register the company, and it's just so much stricter. And I think that's because the Vietnamese still wants to have control of what's going on in the country, and they, of course, trust their own people.
Yeah.
So when it's a Vietnamese setting up a company with a foreigner, the Vietnamese will own 51% of that company, right? So, but there is other options that I'm not that familiar with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think is the biggest thing why it takes up just 6 to 8 months? Is it just the paperwork, or are they trying to make sure you're not, some
No, yeah.
shady background or something? Or
Well, that too. You have to deliver like your criminal record from Norway or the US, for example.
Yeah.
Here, if you want to set up a company, and it has to be notarized. And notarized means that it has to be. You have been taking it to the embassy for a stamp, and then
Yeah.
to the. In Oslo, it's the judge to get a stamp there, and then to the Vietnamese embassy to get a
Yeah.
stamp there. So it's
Okay.
it's a whole thing.
Yeah, if you don't mind, can you go into a little more detail exactly how the company, like what are you helping out people with, or
Yeah.
what's the whole thing
So
about?
what I do is called cultural heritage protection. So it's just a nice way of saying I deliver security frameworks to the cultural sector. So museums, collections, exhibitions, galleries, that type of stuff. Yeah, it's just security consulting for that sector. That's what it is.
And how has that been like working here in Vietnam with that? Do you feel like the Vietnamese people are, do you feel like that's like a big service in Vietnam or just around the world, or how have they been responding to that type of?
So don't do it. It's not a good idea
All right.
because it's a hard sell. The thing is, it's needed. It's highly needed. There's a lot of cultural heritage that needs to be preserved and protected all over the world, but especially Asia. And Asia and also Vietnam has so much of it, which is amazing. But we also don't want it to be lost, right? So the incentive to do it is there. A lot of people support it. A lot of people I talk with, also from the government or from different galleries or museums, are like, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea. We need it." But the thing that makes it a hard sell is the same as everything else. Like, do we have cash for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was always curious about if you're ever starting a business here, because you might have an amazing idea, you might, have this, but can they afford it? Not to say Vietnamese people, obviously, in certain areas, they're extremely rich. And there's a massive amount of wealth.
100%.
But if you're selling to like the, I guess the common, just normal people or basic businesses, I've always wondered how that cash flow works. I don't know if you know.
No, because if I target collections, it's usually very rich people that have a collection.
Okay.
Or if it's an exhibition or a gallery, they usually have some funding behind them, either from private or from government or from. So it's a little bit different when it comes to that. And also we help not only the cultural sector, but also the hospitality sector, like hotels or similar entities with protecting or securing that type of assets.
Okay. Huh. Yeah. I was curious then, what made you want to do this in Ho Chi Minh City? There's obviously Hanoi. I don't know, Da Nang's a hot spot. I don't know how that works, but what made Ho Chi Minh City stand out to you?
That's a good question. When I came here, first of all, I just want to say it's always about being flexible, right?
Okay.
So when I came here, I had this idea that I wanted to do security for a range of sectors. But that's shooting too wide, I figured out. And now I'm going into this niche, which is the cultural sector, which is highly needed, but again, a hard sell. And the thing is, it's security is not that different depending on the sector. Security, physical security, cyber security, technical security, it's often, you can apply it to in the same theory for the different sectors, right? So I'm just choosing a niche, but it's easy for me to be agile and move into different other sectors, like for example in hospitality, because it's much of the same. Like you're protecting assets, like tangible assets. You are securing against the theft, robbery, insider risk, cyber. So it's much of the same, but it's important to know if you want to set up a company here, don't do like me and try to overshoot too many sectors. Try to focus on a niche. And your niche.
Yeah. That's always like a biggest business thing I've heard. It's like niche has always been the.
Yeah, I had to learn the hard way.
Okay.
So,
well, would you recommend, let's say somebody back from Norway or even from the West? Is it easy for them to just have an idea? Okay, I have this idea. Let me start it in Vietnam. Is that process just like streamlined, or do you recommend it, or do you need to have a certain spirit about it, or
you definitely do have a certain spirit about it. I don't recommend or not recommend. It's really up to the person itself. But I would say is that you really need to have done your research, first of all, and second of all, and of course that goes without saying, but second of all, it's very important in Vietnam to be social. Even though you're introvert or you maybe don't like to be around people, if you don't like to go to events or being at the Chamber of Commerce events, it can be very difficult to settle in Vietnam and in Asia. Because Asia is all about trust. This is the biggest tip I can give to anyone. If you want to do something in Asia, you need to come here and establish connections. That's how you do business in Asia. That brought us here. And as I said before, the cost of living, of course, I love the sun. The sun shines every day. The heat, I love it. I love Asia. I love the food here. I love the people here. Me and my wife both do. And it's also, in the 1800s, everyone wanted to go to the US, right? Because that was the land of dreams, right? And the same is for Vietnam now. Like everyone wants to go here. Every company wants to set up shop here. And just being a part of that is just, for me at least, really exciting.
Somebody who wants to come here to Vietnam, or even thinking about leaving, maybe it's somebody your old self. Worrying about it. What advice would you give to them? Coming here, going out of their home country. Some thoughts. What would you say to that person?
Just try, just do it, just jump into it. We were talking before we started filming about it's always the hardest part is always looking at the ice water before you, because we ice bathe in Norway, right? So it's a good example, but looking at the ice water, it's like, damn, do I really have to jump in? It seems kind of scary, it's super cold, it's uncomfortable. But when you've done it, it's just so much easier to adapt. Just jump, just do it. And if it's bad, if you don't like it, you can always go back. And when you go back, you have 1,000 more knowledge points and more experience in your luggage and more adventure. Right? You will have other perspectives and more knowledge and more experience than you had before you left. Because the thing is, if you're stuck in the hamster wheel, nothing changes. It's the same things every day. And this is what it is in Norway, for me at least, was like seeing the same people, doing the same things. There was nothing new happening. But if you just try, you can always go back. Just try.
Yeah. And what better place to do it in
sunny Vietnam, yeah.
Low cost, sunny Vietnam. It's very hot. Yeah. But shit, man, I want to say thank you so much for coming on. And Saman, where can they find you?
They can find me at stemaconsult.com if they want to have talk about fine arts and cultural heritage protection. Or they can just find me in Taurien, where I live.
Oh, yeah, that's that place, Taudin. You can find all types of expats, and I think it's not too hard to stand out.
It's a small world.
Yeah,
definitely a small world.
Yeah,
still, it's not like Thailand, that where there's so many expats. The community here is tight knit. Yeah, and people are really out. Actually, we forgot to talk about that, but people are really out to helping each other. So it's like a big community of people that's trying. If you're out there, if you're social, there's always people trying to help you up and forward, for sure.
Yeah, and I think we talked about before. There's people doing things here too.
Yes,
in terms of elevating their lifestyle, career, business,
everything.
Even fitness, health. I've seen people running out 5, 6 in the morning as it's going outside. So, yeah, that's the beauty about like living in those areas.
Super nice. Sure.
Well, appreciate it, and thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Awesome.